Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today I'm so excited to be sharing this year's fall favorites. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that every season I will take an empty swatch wheel and fill it up with 20 shades, old and new in my collection, that I just want to wear for that season. And as you might know, I'm already a big seasonal wearer, but I'm also an October baby, so I fully believe that fall is the best season, especially for things like nail polish, just because, I don't know, fall colors are so rich and warm and beautiful. I love the cozy vibes, so I am just fully biased, but even if I wasn't born in October, I think I still would say it's like the best for nail polish at least. So without further ado, let me show you this year's favorites. The first polish I have is Alchemy Lacquers Copper Kaleidoscope, which is a dainty copper holographic micro glitter. I always love a dainty little hollow sparkle, and this being a copper color I think just makes it so perfect for fall. I just cannot wait to wear this, either if it's over a sheer neutral base for like a little palette cleanser, or of course over a rich brick red cream. Speaking of creams, the next shade I have is Ave Terracotta, which actually came out in spring of this year, and I knew I was going to love it for the fall season. Even though it is called terracotta and there is a lovely earthy, rusty quality to it, I would say it's more of a salmony pink color as opposed to a true terracotta orange. For some reason, the camera was just freaking out and making it look more orange than it was in real life, but either way, it is beautiful. Next up, I picked Holo Taco's Crimson Void, which is a deep blood red linear holographic. I had the shade on my wish list for quite a while, but was too scared to pull the trigger just because I heard about it being a little too similar to Dead Petals, which I already had. But once they announced they were going to be retiring this shade, I knew that was my chance to grab it and just see it for myself, and I'm so glad that I did because it is such a stunning color. I don't always wear red nails, but I especially love the deeper shades. So naturally, I do have another dark red to share. This one is Cracked Polish's Down with Authority. And as you'll see, it's not as dark as Crimson Void is. This one is a little bit brighter, more vibrant, I would say. It has more of a blue-toned base as opposed to the almost brown undertone in Crimson Void. And it also has a very bright red shimmer, which just makes it sparkle and look so seductive. Ugh, I am such a fan. I also really love the name, so I just had to wear it and embrace those angry, moody fall vibes. The next shade I picked is Picture Polish's Change, which is this absolutely breathtaking brick red orange kind of shade, absolutely packed with these golden flakes. It just looks like fall leaves on your nails. Oh my gosh, I love rich, warm colors like this. It just is peak autumn vibes, and it always blows my mind how some people just don't like orange nail polish. I'm convinced that you just haven't found your right shade of orange, so if you're looking for a fall autumnal one, this one is so great. In a similar vein, I also wanted to include Ave Patterson, which is a beautiful red-orange cream. So it's kind of similar in color to Change, but obviously a very different finish. I think it's also picking up a little bit more of a brighter, true orange on camera, but in real life, there is a really beautiful red kind of tone to it. I normally don't love those red-orange shades, but I feel like this has the perfect balance of each color, and it's just so flattering. Next up, I have Cracked Polish's Granny Walk, which I think came out in January of this year. It feels like so long ago, but I knew this was going to make it into my fall favorites this year. It's described as a rich metallic copper, but again, I feel like there's a very strong red undertone to it. I think it is absolutely stunning. Another cozy fall shade just in a metallic finish. I promise this is the last orangey shade on my wheel. This is KBShimmer's Slay Cozy, which I don't even remember when I picked it up. Maybe it was last year for Black Friday, which means I would have gotten it sometime in December. So, you know, I didn't have a chance to wear it last year. I have been waiting to pull this one out. This one is described as a warm, rusty, burnt orange linear holo. So this is definitely very similar to the last shade, just a different finish. Like, how do you expect me to choose between the two? Okay, technically this is kind of orange adjacent, but this is Cracked Polish's I Am What I Am, which is a very beautiful, pumpkin-y, sweet potato jelly. I don't know how many people would consider this a prugly shade, because I normally would call any kind of brownish, yellow-orange shade prugly, but this one is just so beautiful to me. I guess maybe it's the name, you know, the inspiration. It immediately reminds me of pumpkin syrup in a cozy fall drink. The closest to a true yellow that I have on my wheel this year is Holo Taco's Bottle Service, which came out in a previous holiday/winter collection. This is a stunning golden shimmery metallic kind of finish with these beautiful holographic flakies. I just love this finish from Holo Taco. It's kind of similar to I'm Rover It, which is one of my top favorites from them. And even though this is a very, very warm shade of gold, I think it's perfect for fall. Getting into my greens, the first one I have is Sovereign Beauty's Teen Spirit, which is a previous polish pickup shade, so I'm so sorry that it's not around anymore, but it's such a beautiful, serene, almost sage green, I think, or maybe like a darkened jade sort of color, but it has this gorgeous golden shimmer and silver reflective glitter. You already know I am such a sucker for all of those things. I feel like this shade kind of leans into that army green sort of color, but all that sparkle makes it so glam. And the other green I chose was Holo Taco's Headhunter from last year's Dark Academia collection. I am obsessed with this deep, rich hunter green cream. It's also a one-coater. It is just flawless. I can't wait to pair this with Copper Kaleidoscope, and I already know it looks amazing with Fallen Flake Taco. Getting into my blues, we are starting with an oldie from my collection. This is KBShimmer's Claws in Effect, which originally came out in the winter collection in 2015. It's described as a purple leaning navy in a beautiful, almost jelly-based linear holo finish. I definitely do see more of the navy color, but can kind of see how it leans a little indigo in some lighting. It's just a perfect dark, moody blue. And speaking of oldies, this next shade is Illyrian Polish's Fuck, which came out, I want to say, in maybe 2015, possibly even earlier. I unfortunately wasn't able to find that information online without being bombarded with other things. So just a word of warning, if you're trying to look this shade up, make sure you put nail polish. But either way, I think I would describe this as a grape jelly kind of base color filled with these blue iridescent micro glitters. They are just so incredibly glowy. I love this combination. Another purple I had to include was England's Van Helsing, which is another linear holographic, but this one is in a deeper, almost plummy kind of eggplant shade. I only have a handful of England shades, and it's such a shame to hear that they closed down, but this is easily one of my top favorites that I'm going to treasure for the rest of my life. I just adore the shade of purple, and it has an amazing formula. The last true purple that I have is KBShimmer's A Raisin to Live, which is another oldie from my collection. I think I probably got this in the same order as Claws in Effect, but thankfully this one is still around. It is a super gorgeous, raisiny, plummy, or maybe fig-colored base that is jam-packed with these holographic hex glitters all suspended in the jelly. It is just so rich and beautiful. I feel like I don't have a lot of purples in this shade, but it makes me feral. Up next, I have KBShimmer's Let the Beet Drop, which is kind of purple adjacent, but I feel like it toes the line between being a fall pink as well, mainly because it's filled with these bright pink reflective glitters, so that's what makes it lean more pink. But the base is an even more red-toned purpley berry color in a full coverage reflective glitter formula. You already know I love this finish from KBShimmer. It can be a little thick and gritty, but honestly it is so worth it to me because the payoff is just stunning. And here it is under flash where it totally transforms. Lastly, I have a couple of browns to include because I love a good brown polish. The first one that I have here is Sylvanclaw Walled In. This one actually came out somewhat recently in their spelunking collection, which, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the cave diving inspiration because that gives me anxiety, but this color is so cozy and warm. It just makes me feel so safe. It's a medium brown linear holo with a beautiful red shimmer. Speaking of cozy browns, the next one that I have is Holo Taco's Brownie Points, which is a rich, decadent brown cream. Like I mentioned, I love brown polish, especially for fall, and just having a really rich, deep brown cream is so satisfying. I think it's very chic on its own because it's not dark enough to be black. You can still tell that it's brown, and it can easily pair with so many other shades. And rounding out my wheel this year is ILNP's Dark Roast from the After the Rain collection. Honorable mention to that whole collection. I really had a hard time choosing which one was gonna make it to my wheel because I already featured Drizzle in my fall favorites from ILNP short video last week, but I had to feature Dark Roast on my wheel because I just appreciate ILNP giving us a cool toned brown. Brown is already an underrated color in the nail polish space, but I feel like they're almost always warm, so it was just so refreshing to see this one. And here is a look at my fall favorites wheel. I just love this lineup so much. I think it's super cozy. Obviously have a bit of a rainbow fall palette going on, which is just extra satisfying. And while I wasn't intending on doing it, I feel like I noticed this pattern of just having a lot of pairs in this wheel. So either the color was the same, like with the burnt oranges, but being in different finishes, or having two yellows, two greens, two of those plummy raisin purples. Just a lot of pairs, which I don't know, was also satisfying. And here is the wheel zoomed out. I actually went back to do a third coat and glossy top coat on pretty much every shade except for the topper. I just left that with the one coat. And yeah, I just love how these colors pop. For reference, here it is next to last year's wheel, which I still really love. I don't know how well you can tell on camera, but last year's is a little bit more muted. And the biggest difference is just having more expanded colors, specifically with the burnt oranges and the greens. I obviously love both, but let me know if you have a favorite. So that wraps up my fall favorites for 2025. Here is one last look at my swatch wheel. I just think it is so beautiful. I'm not gonna lie though, I still really love my wheel from last year because I feel like the tones were just so satisfying. But I really love that I have this almost more saturated autumnal rainbow going on. It's just what I'm craving, and I'm so excited to wear these. So yeah, as always, I can't wait to hear what you think of my picks this season. Let me know if we have any favorites in common, or let me know what are some shades that you are really excited to wear this fall. I'd love to chat about it in the comments down below. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!